Hey everybody, it's Paul here again. I'm actually working on a DIY project, do it yourself, and this is kind of like this first time I made one, so I'm going to be kind of making it up as I go along. I am making a lit beverage bucket using this $9 purple planter that I got from Home Depot. As you can see, all the bottom holes there's no holes in the bottom to leak out anything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some LED lights and slide them into this 17-foot cord here. And I'm going to use this short cord in case I need to cut the smaller cord up in half to link it all together. And I got some string here that I'm going to try and suck through the smaller hose. I got some Teq Adhesive, and it's the only thing I can find at Lowe's and Home Depot that works with water pretty well. And there's my little caulk gun. Hope that works pretty good. I've had pretty good success with that thing. Next thing I'm trying to pick up for you is some silicone. That way I can seal up the ends of the smaller hose after I put the LED lights in there. And let's see, there's my power supply, my 12 power supply. This is a 50/50 RGB 6803 LED strip. It's waterproof. It has like a silicone shield around it. And the reason I'm putting it inside the tube, the hose. There's my controller with the remotes and other cords. Is to save the LEDs from being crushed by when I throw ice and adult beverages into my beverage bucket, ice bucket. So now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to first clean off my counter so I can do a little work here. And what I'm going to try and do now is put that string through the 17 feet of the smaller clear hose. Alright, now it looks like I'm vacuum shop vac hose out. And luckily I'm recording separately from this video because it's I didn't want to blare you out with the super sucking power of my vacuum cleaner. Right now I'm trying to straighten out the hose, which didn't work out too well. So what I'm going to do is start pulling out about 15 to 20 feet of string. Set that off to the side. And of course, string, just like going fishing, is going to get tangled up and caught in everything. I'm going to shove one end of the hose down the length of the vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to turn the vacuum cleaner on. So now it's sucking some air as I'm testing to see. So I'm sticking the string in there. It's not sucking in too well when I first noticed it, so I was like, So I took my hand and covered it over, and to create a better suction through there. And as you can see, the air is pulling the string around through the hose, and I'm just unreeling it as I go there. I don't want to. My spool of string keeps running off from me there. I'm trying to keep it from getting off the table, hold my suction, and keep the hose there. So now I'm checking to see if it got the end of the hose there, and it was almost about 3 inches away. So now I'm bringing some more in. Oh, there it is, out there the hose, turning off the vacuum cleaner. And so now I got all that right there. I got to pull the LED strips with the string through the hose, which right now, because the hose is all coiled up, the string is actually very tight. So I actually had to haul it outside, and unfortunately I didn't have my cameras with me. So it took me a little while to make the LED strips go into the hose. So right now I'm trying to figure out how to straighten the string out without the string falling back into the hose tubing, and unravel all that, because it has to be straight as possible for my LED strips to go through. As you can see, even though the hose is not collapsed on itself, it's somewhere the string is caught up in there. So I'm going to fast forward and probably already have the LED strips in there. Like I said, I had to haul them outside to do that. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I had to go and, oh, there's a bug flying by, watch out. I had to go retrieve the Windex, because I know that, where I work at, Windex helps, pull the pull wires through, dashing up. So I squirt down the LED strip and squirted a whole bunch of Windex inside the tubing itself to help lubricate the entire length of tubing, because I don't want to pull my LEDs apart while I'm doing all that. Okay, I believe I've got it. LEDs down the strip. I had to string them across my porch using some tape and keep the tubing taut. And right as you see me walking, you can see the tape still attached to the one end of the tubing. And yes, I was able to slide it down without having to cut the tubing in sections and use that bigger tubing to connect. So I had to use black tape, and you can see the little strips of black tape on one end. So instead of just tying a string around the thing, I ran the string down the one length of it, and every couple of inches wrapped black tape over it. And unfortunately, the black tape's going to have to stay in there because the end that I'm holding right now is too big to actually go into the tube. So, but luckily I didn't cover any of the LEDs when I taped up the string, the LEDs. I guess next time I'll use some white tape or something. Anyway, I'm trying to untangle everything as with the string still attached to the LED strips on the inside, and then roll it up because I'm fixing to test them to make sure I didn't destroy any of the LEDs. Oop, well, probably you never know if I destroy some then. Let's see, I'm trying my best to ravel stuff up like it's a big fire hose. Alright, we got it all wrapped up there, and I'm going to cut that string. That way it'll detach that roll. This is just apparently just get all up in the way. Get that sucker out of there. Excuse me for my sniffling. I am going to go ahead and do a little test power up. I'm going to and of course I'm not thinking right. There we go. Now I'm thinking. I'm plugging in on the end. This is the end that's going to be at the top of the bucket, where I'm going to drill a small hole and run that cord outside the bucket at the very top. That way it won't leak it anywhere else. And that's the power supply. It's a 6 amp, 7 amp, 12 volt power supply. It plugs in the box. The white box is a controller. It's got a speed, and it's got like 133 different. Look at that noggin. Look like a handsome person there. Look at him. It's got different speeds and everything. So there, look, from what I can see, all the LEDs are still working. They're inside 16 feet or 17 feet of tubing. Sorry. And I'm gonna use my little remote control, which has a rather good distance on it, at least 100 feet or so. I tried it once, and I was walking almost into another parking lot trying to test it. And there's me fixing to take an Instagram picture while I'm doing a video. Actually, no, I'm doing a actual video. I'm videoing me right now, Instagramming a video. So dual video of the LED inside the tubing. I'm holding up the end of the tubing, showing that it's inside there, which probably looked like it came from the factory anyway. If somebody didn't know better. Alright, I got that going. I am going to finish my 15-second Instagram photo or video, and I'm just changing a bunch of colors so that it can do all kinds of crazy stuff, even for y'all that's watching right now. And it's almost done. I'm uploading, and now people on Instagram can see pretty lights. Alright, I got those turned off, putting all the power stuff out of the way. Going to take my $9 purple planter bucket and set it on the side. I'm going to kind of eyeball where I'm going to start running the hose, the tubing with the LED strips on the inside, and see how far up it's going to be. Of course, I can do it until I start gluing stuff down, but it will kind of give me an idea about how much to use. It's probably going to take up probably almost all of the sides of the bucket from what I can see. And apparently the LEDs are going to be pointing on the outside of the curve, not on the inside like I was wanting to. So I should have been paying attention and did it on the inside, but I guess I'll have to probably use a heater or something. You see how the LEDs are sticking out on the outside of the curve, and I'm going to have to find some way to bend it the other way. So when I use that adhesive, I'm going to do a little bit at a time and slowly force it into place. Okay, I think I'm reading the silicone tube now. I'm going to use that to seal the ends of the tube. So what I'm doing is I'm squirting in there all around the little black power connector, trying to get it all up in there. There's a couple bubbles that keep popping up, so I kept having to screw a little more in there. And I got it pretty much filled up. I didn't want any, even though the thing was waterproof, I just wanted to make sure that it stays, it keeps most of the water out. So I squirted a whole bunch on this end. This is the top end that's going to be sticking through a hole in the side of the top part of the bucket. Where I'm going to mount the controller and the power supply box outside the bucket. And there I'm going to set it off to the side, trying to keep it. Nope, I see a bubble. I'm trying to fill it up some more. Yeah, it's trying to. I don't want any mishaps. Because I've made buckets before with LEDs, and every time I dump some ice in there or start, shoving, drinks and stuff in there, the LEDs start getting crushed and start showing off like different colors. So I decided to put it inside of a hose this time, or tubing, to protect it, so when the ice gets thrown in there, it just bounces off the tubing. Here I'm cutting off the excess hose. As you can see, the other end of the black string, or black power connector, that does for the lights and stuff, is right there at the end. So I cut off about an inch away from it. And I'm going to use a silicone and fill it up. So that way, because that part's going to be on the bottom, and I want to make sure it stays sealed as well. And here I am cleaning out the inside of the tube from the Windex. That way it'll be sort of dry. Trying to keep it as dry as possible before I can stick my shirt in there. I guess I need a towel or something. Alright, now I'm squirting a whole bunch of it there, starting at the bottom this time. This time going in circles, make sure there's no bubbles hanging out. And as far as I tell, that's it. That was a quick one right there. So, start putting all my stuff away, and this is going to be end of day one. I'm going to let those two ends cure for the night, and tomorrow I'm going to start doing the hard part of adhesiving that tubing backwards into the bucket, and then that's probably going to take most of the day for sure, just that part of it. So anyway, this is Paul. I appreciate you watching. This is my first DIY do-it-yourself, and it's the LED lit beverage bucket. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have an awesome evening, and please subscribe.